Healthy Rebel Radio is sponsored by the Healthy Rebel app. 300 plus secretly healthy, delicious, mouth-watering dessert and treat recipes made with all-natural, whole food ingredients. Now available for download on the App Store and Google Play. Find out more details at healthyrebel.com.
Welcome to Healthy Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Dr. David Dizer. I'm here with my Gaming Healthy Rebel co-founder, Amy Layne. Good morning.
Good morning.
On today's show, we're going to be discussing self-esteem, optimism, belief, confidence, and its role on a weight loss journey. Is it effective? Can we build it? What does it do? I love this topic.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
I do too.
Yeah. The reason I want to discuss it is because I feel on a personal level, I've always been super confident in two situations. The situation where I'm really passionate about something, or the situation where I'm really well prepared. And then outside of those two situations, my confidence level has been pretty low. Until recently, when I've grown up and been through some things, I feel like I can handle more things, in the moment.
You've relaxed into the moment a bit more.
Yeah, you can keep your mindset a bit more on the half-full side, even if you're not prepared for something, if you've gone through some difficult things. So that's my current situation.
Perspective.
But my gosh, things I'm passionate about are things that I'm extremely well prepared to speak on. I can feel really good about without having to do any work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you're in the same. You're a half-full type person. You fall into the situation. Maybe you prepare for the worst sometimes.
I fall into. I see the perfection in everybody and everything, except for I'm extremely critical of myself. So that I think is the one. It's not like I sit around in a woe is me type, but I have such a high standard for myself that I definitely fall into. Yeah, that's definitely my Achilles heel. I'm hard on myself.
I think we all have moments like that. But
I also have a very strange confidence that's done some really amazing things for me in my life.
For sure.
At a young age, I was an entrepreneur by 16. Well, even before that, but we won't even count those entrepreneurial ventures. Don't even...
Oh, come on.
No, we're not going to go there.
We're not going to count the crow's feet?
If people don't know, it's called sea asparagus on the West. It has different names, different places. On the East Coast, it's called... crow's feet. Anyway, when I was very young, I used to collect crow's feet and sell them to a store. I mean, I washed cars at a detail shop on the weekends when I was...
Oh my gosh.
Like 11.
Yeah.
Like, I've always worked. I've been on the hustle my whole life. But when I was 16, I started doing makeup, and a photography company picked me up to do grad photos so they could save money on editing, blah, blah, blah. So,
nice. A consultant at 16.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on the hustle for a long time.
Were you invoicing them with Excel? Or like, how were you doing?
No,
how were you doing this?
There was no real paperwork.
No,
it was just per person. I
you
just
owe
write
me
down.
this.
Yeah, basically. So, I mean, that was strange because people in my age group were like, "What in the hell is she doing?"
For
like,
sure.
And then when I got a little older, I decided I wanted to buy a house and start a business, and I acted as my own real estate agent twice. I bought and sold as myself, and people always thought that was strange. And I just remember one of the things my dad always giggling, like, well, that's Amy. Like, you never know. Like, she just has strange confidence and very weird. Like, when I'm determined, I can do anything.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that's not a unique quality to me. I think it's something that everybody has, and for some people it's latent. So it just needs to be activated.
Definitely.
So that's what excites me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you mentioned the word determined. When you're determined about something, I think you step into the place of, oh, I believe I can do this.
Yeah, there's no other option. It's going to happen. It's just how. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been in a similar situation where anything in my life that I've visualized I'm going to do or be or become or spend a lot of time concentrating on and really believed in that it can happen. If it costs less than $1 million, it's happened so far.
Right.
So I have a lot of confidence in this.
Yeah.
For the things that I really believe in. I feel like they happen for me.
Well, I mean, and if you just look at what's happened for us or to individualize and as a couple in the last decade, in the last 10 years, none of it should on paper be possible.
Right.
None of it. For us.
No, I would agree.
So, this is a very near and dear topic to our heart, and it's about constantly tuning in and remembering, oh yeah, when I actually am in the field of believing, in the field of accepting my good, and then putting in the hard work in combination with that belief, oh yeah, all the good does happen.
Right. That's how I usually define it. The belief, or the topic for today's show, how effective belief is for getting things done. I feel like it's that conscious focus on your highest good can happen. That's like the definition of this sort of topic. So in this situation, if you believe you can lose the weight, you can lose the weight. It's absolutely possible.
One of the biggest things that determine, and I don't write anybody off, so I don't want to say this in a way that like I'm like, oh, this person's going to do this. It's not like that. I can basically, if I did a study on the people that my clients that I've worked with over the years, thousands and thousands of women from all over the world, from different backgrounds, the people that email me right away and say, when I get to this certain amount of weight, I always plateau. I can lose 5 pounds, but after that, it never happens. This is the reason I can't. This is why I've never done it. I've never seen. Those people generally do exactly what they just said.
Yeah.
The magical plateau happens, which I don't believe that you can listen to and read about. I've written about many times. They only lose the 5 pounds and it's hard and their families aren't supportive and the whole thing happens.
Yes.
But what I try to explain to them is you're more writing your story than predicting the future. You're creating the future.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
So, and it's not to say, oh, those people over there think like that. We all do it in some place in our lives. Like, I've done it a million times. I've held myself back in business so much because I wasn't ready to accept how good things could be. Yeah. In my own life with weight loss, it took me so long to surrender to, oh, I can be exactly what I want, or anything in life. Like, I mean, there's a million examples, but
the point is, what you focus on expands.
What you focus on expands. So if you focus on, like right here today, your past isn't here. And the future isn't here. And the only way that the past can affect you right now is if you drag it up.
Yeah.
So if you start running those movies, basically, you're doing the exact same thing as affirming. When we say, like, start the affirmations, like, I am lean, I am powerful, I'm strong, I'm a goddess, whatever you want to be. I'm confident, I'm a great sleeper,
Sure.
Whatever. That's what I'm affirming right now with my 4-month-old.
You are a great sleeper.
So, you're doing the exact same thing if you're saying, I'm not successful, I'm unattractive, I'm always 30 pounds overweight. My family genetics hold me back. I will never make more than whatever amount of money a year. I'll never be happy in my career. You're affirming. You're using the tools that you may think don't work, and you're proving they work.
That's right.
That's a reality. So one of the keys and something that I really try to focus on in my life, and it works every time, is releasing the past and really understanding it's not here anymore. It's gone. It's not here.
The way I like to look at it is looking at cell turnover. How quickly our bodies completely renew.
It's so weird. I was just thinking that.
Are you kidding?
But I was thinking of that time that I heard, if you go back and you try to find yourself, you were once an infant. You were once a toddler. You were once a teenager. Where are those people?
That's right.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Completely. God. Their cells have been completely turned over as well, like in a physical sense. They're gone.
It's gone. They're gone. They're gone. Those people are gone.
Yet we hold on to the things that we've been through, and they can affect us in a certain way, and direct our thought moving forward.
So it's about having the clarity of holding on to the things in the past that make us feel powerful. Like, there's also things in the past that I drag up because, you know, I've done some amazing things, and I'm the type of person that I delete and I move into the next day. And sometimes, and David gets upset with me, he's like, you know, you just accomplished this, or you just made this amazing thing happen, you're forgetting, Amy. So it's about selective memory.
It is. It's about, so this is the portion of the program where we talk about building a half full attitude.
Yeah.
How do we build this situation in our minds where we believe the highest good is going to come for us? And that's one of the ways. So there's the power of positive habits, which is like doing things that give you little wins all day long. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's going through your actual wins. So like you said, you start to remember, for you, we try to get you to refocus on all the good that you've done.
It's very important for me.
And what that does is it preps you for more good because you know, oh, I can do this.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I did do... And, you know, and there's a million quotes out there about this. It's about taking the first step even though you don't see the full staircase. Mm-hmm. You know, it's about having blind faith. And what I always picture, and I know I've said it a million times, and if you're a listener, I'm sorry I have to say it one more time. It's planting that seed and then actually nourishing the soil without going back and digging it all up.
That's right.
And checking to see if it's growing. You have to have the faith. You have to let that plant grow. You have to leave it alone. You nourish it, and you just believe that your good's going to happen. And the one little thing I have to say in here, and something that I've learned in my life, and you've learned in your life, and we've learned collectively, is also be open to how good can happen. Because sometimes we have a set plan. Mm-hmm. You know, like for instance, when I started out in business and changing in business, I had a very distinct what I wanted to be. This is what I was going to be. I wanted to be this thing.
Yeah.
Then it didn't turn out that way. And I got really upset. And I got really emotional. And I set myself back a bit. But if I could have had some perspective that the end goal was coming, but it was going to look different because it was actually going to be better than what I had set out initially.
Yes.
That's where you have to really, you have to be present. Because like I said, it started to look, oh wait, this is taking a different path. And I was very sad. And I was like, but my vision was very small. Mm-hmm. And what actually happened was 10 times better than I had dreamed. So if I had relaxed in that process, it probably would have shaved a year off of pain.
Right. God, that would have been nice.
Right?
I find that when I'm doing creative type visualization with myself too, because at the end, I don't know if we've mentioned this on the show, but when we're ever doing, say, meditations or looking into what's possible in the future, we always say, or better.
Or better. We always are better.
And then you can end on or better, or you can let your mind wander on what might be better.
But just don't get firm on the details.
That's right.
Like, yes, you have to have details in your everyday life to work towards a goal.
Oh, yeah. Your goal setting, it has to be detail-oriented, but then there's this...
It has to be on a shelf a bit and let the fluidity... Like, life is for you. And if you can relax into that a bit, just believe that actually life is good. And that things are set up for your win. If you just so align yourself and you do the work and you put your head down and you just do what you have to do.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't airy-fairy stuff.
No, it's not. This
is work.
It is. And some of the variables are unpredictable. Like, for example, if you're visualizing you're going to be this certain body type by this date, and you're going to do these things and it's going to get you there, there's so many things you can't predict. You can't predict the time.
No. You
can't predict, so many variables.
And like I say to my clients all the time, we put the goal on the shelf, but then we let things, it may take longer than 6 months, but it doesn't matter because once we get there, it's going to be so great that you're just going to be so grateful and it'll work out for the better. Well, it'll last.
This is the thing in holistic weight loss. So it might take you longer to get there, but you reduce your cortisol levels along the way. You tightened up your female hormones so that you're not having these other symptoms that might be associated. You balance your insulin, or you increase your insulin sensitivity, so all of a sudden your blood sugar is under better control.
Your sleep.
So not only are you leaner, but you've got less risk of diabetes and cardiovascular disease.
And to dumb it all down, how I just say is that you feel amazing.
Yeah, you feel amazing.
You feel along the whole journey.
But it took longer. That's the thing.
It takes longer, but one day you wake up and you're like, I am the person I was trying to manifest. Yeah. I feel light. I feel lean. I feel like I glow from the inside out. I feel confident. I don't look at my closet and just think, oh, what the hell? Like, I don't worry about occasions coming up. Like, I used to count down diet to occasions. Well, that used to be my life. Like, I'm going to be going to this party. Well, I better start fasting now. Like, that was my life. Like, it's just torture.
Yeah.
And the freedom you receive by not having to do that anymore, it's just a gift everyone should give themselves.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it all starts with the thought that it could be possible.
That's
and
right.
then doing the daily mental exercises to make that possible.
And there's certain positive daily habits that you can use that can make it even easier. I mean, you can work on your conscious thought for sure. Sometimes it's nice to have a little push. Positive habits that I've seen you use are things like affirmations, but actually having them around.
Yes, I need that daily reminder.
It's been huge for you. This app that you use is called Tell Me Later. This woman gets hundreds of Tell Me Laters per day.
Yeah, I do.
And, you know...
It's not hundreds. He's exaggerating, but he thinks it feels like...
You know, 11:11, 7:11, 11:07, all these different times, you get these reminders, and I read them sometimes. Mm-hmm. And it's really helpful to check in, especially if you're having like a really bad day.
It is. So I set up the Tell Me Later app. It's a free app with different cues. So different times of day, I cue myself for different things. So first thing in the morning, I, cue myself with different gratitude type things. Basically have it all already type things. And then maybe midday, it's more motivational and reminder of, my goals and things, which I frame in I am. Like using the I am. So I am blank, whatever I'm working towards. I find that a really powerful tool. And I also have in my meditation area quotes and my yearly goals. Mm-hmm. And we have our yearly goals in our office.
We have those, and I've got my degrees up on the wall now.
Yes.
Which I find really helpful because it's a representation of just years and years of hard work. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have it up for the first couple of years, and now I have it up, and I feel really good about it. When I see that, I just think, God, there's a lot of energy that went into that. Mm-hmm. And it just shows, you can do anything. Now with the baby, holy smokes, anything can happen. Like just looking at our Instagram feed and thinking about how she came about, and I mean, it's inspiring.
Yeah.
Really, it's so fun, and it's so easy to be grateful when you've got so many good reminders in the day. Yeah, true. I should mention that this episode was inspired by the book The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. It's a book that just had its 10-year anniversary, actually. I don't know if you know this. But very cool book. He introduced epigenetics to the public. Yeah. Epigenetics, the idea that you can change the expression of your genes if you change your lifestyle. Right. And he's a cell biologist. He presented a lot of cellular research in the book. Mm-hmm. I love reading the book because it's got a clinical side and it's got a spiritual side. The point of the book that I really enjoyed was the reduction in stress, showing the reduction in negative expression of genes. Mm-hmm. Some really good information in there about that, and of course I try to teach that to as many people as I can. Right. We often wonder what the cause of a lot of inexplicable illness is. And so much of it comes back to stress. And so much what we've seen is not only illness that we don't understand, but why certain people become ill, or why certain people with the same illness, one will become sick and one will thrive. Exactly. It's very interesting. It's super interesting and super powerful because it just shows what stance, what impact belief can have on the actual physiological system, because it can change your neurotransmitter release, it can change your hormone release. Two examples of this topic that and definitely your immune system. Oh my gosh, definitely. Well, we know that when you're more negative, or say more stressed or low mood, depression even, inflammation can be increased. Yeah. Allergic response can be increased. Reactivity can be increased. Yeah, it's really interesting. Mm-hmm. Along this lines of what was being discussed in the book, and now what's being even looked into more deeply, two discussions on performance. I want to talk first about belief and illness. There's been lots of trials that have tried to investigate the impact of thinking positive on cancer outcomes. Mm-hmm. We've seen this many times. There have been some smaller ones that have shown some positive benefit on outcome, but it's very rare that there will be any positive benefit. What is shown over and over and over in cancer therapy and positive thinking is quality of life improvements. If that's important to you, which I hope it is for everyone, especially in oncology, my gosh.
Yeah.
It's a torturous time. Both of our families have been through it, and most families that we know have been through it. Quality of life is so incredibly important.
Definitely.
There's a huge difference between going through a cancer therapy and feeling good, or experiencing a positive quality of life, and going downhill extremely quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
And being really, really sick, and
right.
There's so much to talk about here. But thinking positive, focusing on the good, finding the good in these devastating situations has been shown to improve quality of life scores over and over every study.
Yeah.
On the other side of this is actual physical performance and believing something can help you.
Definitely.
Right? Another spectrum.
And I mean, we see that all the time with athletes.
Yeah, oh my gosh. People who think they're going to be amazing end up being amazing.
Not only, people that say, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be the best, I'm going to be the greatest, but also using, like, their rituals, you'll see.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of these star athletes that are phenomenal, like, I mean, look at Stephen Curry.
Yeah, oh my God. If we look at any of the top NBA players, if we look at Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, these guys are not lacking confidence, and they'll tell you how good they are.
And also they have rituals.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the habits.
The rituals that they believe in.
They believe they're going to help them.
Yeah.
Really good point.
Yeah.
It's consistent throughout the league. If you look at the handshakes in the NBA, if you look at pregame warm-ups, if you look at mental prep and visualization, seeing the ball go into the net, they're doing it all. One study I want to bring up on this topic was a recent one that was done for endurance runners. I wrote about this on the blog last week when I was writing about optimizing your mindset for the year. This study was done. It was an injection study, which is kind of weird. They thought they were getting an injection that was as good as erythropoietin, the EPO that cyclists take to increase their red blood cell count, so that they can transport more oxygen to the muscles, therefore work out harder, longer, do better in racing. They thought they were getting an injection that had a similar efficacy to that. Really, they were getting a placebo injection. For the first week, they ran with nothing, just to see what their times were. When they got the placebo injection, they all thought, they believed it was this type of injection. It was nothing. There was nothing in it. It was just sterile water, I think. All of their times improved by a significant amount, an amount that would be statistically significant, but an amount that would change the result at an end of a race. So it's considered 1%, which was it was a 3-kilometer race, which is a lot if you're looking at racers. But the most interesting thing was their recovery was better.
Isn't that funny? Reduced
delayed onset muscle soreness. A whole bunch of things.
Wow.
So cool. All because they believed they were getting this injection that was good. So, how can this benefit us? Long term, on a weight loss journey. What does it mean to think, oh, I can do this? Or this time it will be different? Well, we know that it's effective for, like that one example, reducing your soreness. I mean, but also you can work out harder if you believe that you're doing the right things. So eating better, exercising more, staying focused on the positive, and of course reduce stress, balance hormones, improve digestion. But I think the most important thing is not letting your past, what you've been through, dictate what you think is going to happen, how your life is going to change. They're not good predictors.
No, just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it can't happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's the core point. That's Healthy Rebel Radio for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's show, please subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher Radio. Leave us a review. Thank you so much for listening.
Have a great day.
Bye. Healthy Rebel Radio is presented by the online health and wellness center, DamiHealth.com. Since 2009, Amy Layne has successfully coached thousands of women through her signature program, the Bikini Body Program. Join today to work exclusively with Amy to unveil your greatest yet to be from the inside out. Go to DamiHealth.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio. Please connect with us on our community pages on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at the handle @DamiHealth. For weekly recipes, articles, and all our episodes straight to your inbox, join our newsletter at damiehealth.com. You can find all the links discussed in today's episode in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.